Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Thandi Gama, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back TG gang. So today's video is a little different. As you guys know, I love sharing personal development videos here on this channel. Every now and then when I experience something that I feel that you guys need to know about, I definitely will share it with you because I'm all about sharing everything I know and sharing the things that help me improve my life. So if you are interested in getting to know how you can change your life in just a couple of easy steps based on my life experiences, then keep on watching. So basically, the first step is you want to analyze your current situation holistically, be it the beginning of the year or whether you are somewhere in the middle. I need you to realize that this video is not solely intended for you to focus on this when it's the beginning of a new year. You can implement this at any given time in the year. So when you look at your situation holistically, you want to look at the past few months and analyze what are things that have taken place that you are happy with and what are the things that you're not happy with. You can look at habits, you can look at goals you've achieved, you can just look at basically how you have worked on your personal self, your business, or anything else that you are trying to improve on. And basically, if I give you an example on how I looked at this in 2021, around about the same time as this year, so basically December of 2021, I was looking at my year holistically and I realized I wasn't happy with the amount of work I had produced or the quality of the work that I had produced, because I realized that based on previous work, I knew I could do better and I knew that that was supposed to be my year of improvement. So I looked at the work and I said I was not happy with the type of work I produced because I knew that I could do better. So that was something that I knew I wanted to improve on in the coming year. So I set my mindset on that specific goal. Now, step 2 is taking accountability. You want to take accountability of the reasons why you had certain habits or the reason why certain things happened. So in my situation, the reason why I wasn't happy with the type of work that I produced is because I was a victim of procrastination, and I literally overjudged every single project that I had, and I would overanalyze it to the point that when it came to actually working on it, I didn't have as much time as I did in the beginning, because given a project, I would probably have a week to work on it, and I would spend maybe 5 days of that time allocated to that project analyzing and trying to think too deep into what I should be doing instead of actually beginning to work on certain things. So at the end of the day, when I only had maybe a day to work on the project, everything that I kind of did was rushed. So analyzing why things didn't work out for me, I had to take it upon myself to take accountability, not blame anyone else. It was my fault. Looking back at where I was, I knew exactly the things that I had done wrong and the things that I could possibly change in the future to improve on future projects. Step 3 is envisioning the next destination or envisioning your dream life. So I basically had to sort of analyze, how did I want to set my 2022? Okay, so one of the most important things was that I decided that if I got a project, I would start working on it immediately, not putting off things for tomorrow, because what happens with procrastination, you start one day saying, oh, you know what, I will move this tomorrow, I'll focus on this tomorrow, then tomorrow comes, something else has come up, then you keep moving this project till you eventually don't have enough time dedicated to it. So what I told myself is that whenever I received a project, I would immediately start working on it. So even if the whole day wasn't dedicated towards that specific project, I would at least give like an hour or two to actually sort of like plan out how I was going to execute this, so that if if there were certain things that needed to be done before the final product, I would have those ready in time for the product, so that my work looked as though I took the time and effort, actually not looked as though, so that it showed that I took the time and effort, and when people looked at it, they would see that, this is not something that she worked on in an hour or last minute. She really did put the effort in. And part of envisioning where I wanted to be in 2022 was also realizing the type of life that I wanted to live, the type of things that I wanted to enjoy, the mindset that I wanted to have. And this all is sort of like a domino effect, because it kind of trickles down to how I then follow into setting my goals, which goes into step 4. For step 4, this is setting your goals down on paper. In order to be able to accomplish step 3, you sort of need to have an idea of specific things that you will work on. Like, you need to be able to see this every day or read it every now and then, because it's very easy to start working on something and then 3 months down the line you completely forget about it and move on to something else. Whereas if this is something you're able to go back to, you will tend to analyze and realize that you're not where you want to be yet. And it's always better to work on one thing at a time, complete that before you move on to the next thing. Otherwise, you will have over 10 uncompleted goals or projects that you're currently working on, because you're failing to analyze one of them and see what else do you need to do or add on to it to actually get it to the level of completion that you would like to see yourself at. So it's very, very important to actually note some of those goals down. I noted specific goals, and along with noting those specific goals, I noted some specific timelines. And what I need you to know is that you should allow flexibility or room in those timelines, because life just doesn't always go the way we want it to, and sometimes things can get in the way, and you shouldn't kick yourself or judge yourself for not achieving something on a specific day. It may take you a month longer or a couple of months longer than anticipated, but the fact that you gave yourself a timeline will give you something to work towards, rather than just working and not knowing where you're headed. Step 5 is tuning your focus in order to achieve these goals. So whenever you have goals, there may be some compromises that you have to make. So part of the compromise that I had to make is that I knew one of the things that I sort of drew towards when I wanted to get into this headspace of procrastinating. I would keep myself busy by maybe finding a space to clean. I would also keep myself busy by finding a new show to watch, And what I had to do is to avoid these things and literally push myself to actually get the work done. So in order to not push myself to clean, I also had to build a good, healthy habit of keeping my space clean. That way I'm not drawn towards saying, oh, this place looks like a mess, so let me rather do that instead of focusing on what needs to be achieved now. So the more I tuned my focus into completing certain goals before I could do certain things, I realized that I then turned the things that I used to procrastinate, such as watching shows, as a reward. So not every negative thing needs to remain negative. You can turn it into a positive. So what I used to use as procrastination, I use as a reward, so to actually get my work done. So if I do complete something, then I will reward myself with an episode of a show. And also things like cleaning, I really focused on ensuring that I gave myself specific allocated times in the day to clean, so that I don't have to use that as an excuse when I'm meant to be working. Now, the next step that I sort of discovered was thought training. It's very easy to sort of get lost in this negative mindset, and this is sort of something that I also struggled with in 2021. basically I would, look at things and think that I'm not worthy, or I am not capable of completing something. And instead of doing that, I changed my focus and realized, you know what, I can do this. I can do this because I can definitely try. And as I try and work on it, I can become I can get to a point where I'm able to do something like this. I also needed to start attracting more positive thoughts, because when you have a positive mindset, you attract positive energy. When you have positive energy around you, you are motivated, you want to work more, you want to be rewarded, you want to have good things around you. So it's really, really important to sort of like train your thoughts to become more positive than negative. Because what happens when you have a negative mindset is that you find yourself in this rut where you basically just don't want to do anything. You avoid stuff, and it can basically lead you back into that stage of procrastination as well, because a lot of your thoughts lead you to start judging yourself, judging your work. And when you judge your work, you just think the best way to not maybe mess up is to not do anything like that again. Whereas when you do things over and over again, that is you trying. And obviously when you try and try again, you end up getting to a point where you're doing really well, and this is something that you're good at. One of my favorite tips when it comes to personal development is improving on the things you already know. So how I would look at it from my personal self, I would say I am a content creator, and with the way we are living in a ever evolving world, people constantly change the way they consume content. So it's important for me to always be in the loop of what's interesting, what are people liking, and what is trending, what is everyone reading, looking at, enjoying. And once I have a sort of like feel for that sort of content, I sort of take that and use that to tweak my content so that it's developed in a way that my audience are able to consume my content. It's important not to copy, but to still keep it you and make it yourself. Like, you don't have to be anyone else. Individuality is key. So don't copy. Just tweak what you already have, and surely someone out there will love what you have to offer. So the final step that I'm currently working on and very excited to continue working on in the coming year is becoming more productive. So I recently took on an online class with Thomas Frank, who is a YouTuber, author, and entrepreneur, and he is basically helping me figure out a way to create a system that works for me. Which brings us to today's sponsorship, which is Skillshare. So if you're wondering what Skillshare is a learning community made up of thousands of members and classes across 150 countries. So I am so excited to let you know that the first 1,000 people to click the link down below do get 1 month's free membership, and you can take advantage of any of the classes that you're interested in, be it self-development, or if you're interested in learning how to edit your videos, anything that improves on your personal development or creativity, then definitely check out the link down below. So I do hope that this video was interesting for you and assisted you in helping you figure out how to improve yourself, your personal development, your life in the new year or the next upcoming months. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one.